Okay, welcome again to Bigger Blog. Today, I want to talk to you about my strategy for using my blood sugar levels to maintain the weight that I've lost. I use it first to lose weight. I know I'm using the same blood sugar levels to maintain my weight. I previously weighed about 240, between 250, between 230 and 250 constantly while I was trying to lose weight initially, until I figured out this method of losing weight. And once I figured this method out, I was able to drop my weight all the way down to my weight of 174, which is my weight I used when I was in college, which was my goal. So now at that weight, I have to maintain it. I have to use the same strategy to maintain it. So I want to discuss that strategy. So the first thing I want to talk about is what is blood sugar level. I keep showing my videos, I was 80, now I'm 100, I'm 100, now I'm 120. I say, well, what is those numbers, right? So I want to explain those numbers. I had to get a little write-up on it to really understand it myself, because I know what it means, but I didn't know the actual description, is symbols behind those numbers. So when I say I'm 100, it means I'm 100 mg/dl. If I'm 140, 140 mg/dl. And what that means is this. I'm going to read it. Blood sugar values are expressed in milligrams of sugar per deciliter or millimoles of sugar per liter. So that's sugar per deciliter or millimoles of sugar per liter. So that's all that number is. I don't know what that means because this is scientific and I'm dealing with no scientific. I am just using these for practical results, right? So when I say I'm 100, I'm 100 DL, mg/dl. Or if I'm 140, I'm 140 mg/dl. And you can look that up, right? So that's what that is when I use those numbers, right? Now, why focus on blood sugar so much and how I could use my blood sugar to manage my weight and so on? Well, blood sugar affects everyone, right? No matter if you're diabetic or not, when you eat something sweet or anything that converts to sugar, you're going to have a spike in blood sugar. The problem is, people who are not diabetic, the pancreas produce enough insulin to get rid of that sugar quickly and pump it into the cells. I was going to read it, but I kind of know it, so I don't have to read it. Because I studied before and I know it. So I wouldn't have to read it again. Anyway, so it pumps enough insulin to manage the sugar you intake. And your sugar gets back down to normal pretty quickly or pretty normally. And it's not really, you don't really have any problem. But when you become diabetic, your body is either not handling that percent of sugar good and getting it into the cell. Your cell becomes resistant to the insulin the body produces, and it's having a hard time getting rid of the sugar or getting the cell to use the sugar. So the sugar remains in the blood, goes to your heart, goes out to your eyes, goes all over your body, to your arteries, and could damage you. It could be a poison to your body, right? So when you have diabetes, the sugar you eat could become a poison to your body. If you don't have diabetes, your body processes it properly. So that's the key, right? So I learned over time that since I'm diabetic, the sugar remains in my blood longer, and my body have a hard time processing the sugar. And then it stores the sugar as fat or as glucose. So where is sugar coming from? Almost everything I eat has some little bit of sugar in it. And some things have a lot of sugar in it. Some things are added sugar, processed sugar. Some have natural sugar. But it doesn't matter what they are. Some are carbohydrates and they convert to sugar. Some protein convert to sugar. So your body tries to get sugar from everything, right? But the more sugar you put in more constantly and you're diabetic, is the more your body have a rough time producing enough insulin to manage that sugar. Then your body produces too much insulin to overcompensate sometimes. So it becomes a health problem, right? So what I learned is that if I put just enough sugar in my body, give my body a chance to process that sugar, then leave it alone, let the body, for say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, let the body recover itself from the sugar I put in. I notice I'm losing weight. So basically what happens is when I eat food with sugar, carbohydrates and so on, my blood sugar spikes up really high. And I try to eat a combination of food that doesn't spike too much. So I don't eat food that I know will give me a big spike, 300. Like I don't eat a lot of ice creams, a lot of natural sugars. So I eat food with sugars already in it, natural food with sugars. I don't drink juices and so on to get extra sugar, right? So I don't have those big spikes, but I can go to like 190, 180, 200. And I have to wait for that to come back down. So the normal process for me is to wait an hour and a half after I eat and make sure that the food I'm eating is bringing my blood sugar back down to under 140 of mLs as I described. Once I get back under there, then I'm in another hour or so, it would get back to around 100. And another hour or so, it may get under 100, right? So when I eat, I take my spike. This is what I test my blood sugar before I eat to make sure my blood sugar is under 100 before I eat. I don't eat anything if my blood sugar is above 100. Then when I eat, I wait an hour and a half and I test my blood sugar again. And I'm hoping the combination of food I eat is going to be under 140. Even if it's over 140, I'm going to wait now and let my body produce enough insulin and let the body work its way out to take that sugar down. Then I'm going to test it again, see how far the sugar. So after 3 or 4 hours, I'm hoping the sugar is now under 100. And I let it stay there for a couple of hours. So you say, I eat about 6 hours between meals as a minimum. And I'm not snacking anything between that time because I want my body sugar to come down under 100. Then I want when it gets under 100, I want my body to maintain itself under 100. So I'm not adding back sugar all the time. So when the body stays at that level, under 100 for say 3-4 hours, I notice I lose weight. It's kind of like when you go to sleep in the night, you're not eating for 8 hours, you're fasting overnight, you lose weight overnight. So if I repeat that overnight process during the day, I'm losing weight during the day also. See? But because we are forced to sleep, we can't eat while we're sleeping, we naturally lose weight in the night. But when you're up and awake, it's harder to not to eat, so you tend to fall for eating multiple times a day, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 times a day, and eating the bad stuff that could cause lots of sugar fluctuation. So what I do is I use the same discipline that I use in the night to sleep, and when I have breakfast, then I would not eat again for 6 or 7 hours to let my body go through the same process go through at the night time. See? Now, I don't have any write-up on a board to show you all of that. So just kind of listen to what I'm saying, right? So I'm repeating what happens at night during the day. So I'm losing weight at night and during the day. Now that I lost all this weight, I don't want to lose to come to 150. I don't want to lose on more weight. So now I don't wait 8 hours between meals to eat. I eat maybe 3 or 4 hours between meals. So I eat about 2 or 3 meals for the most for the day, or 2 meals for the day, but I don't let the time go so far between anymore, right? Because I don't need to have the body burn so much internal sugar to take away my fat out of my body, right? So basically I'm using the night process in the daytime, you see, to get my weight. Now, to test your blood sugar all the time require a test meter and test strips. And these are expensive. These are very expensive to replace all the time. So I joined a program at my insurance called a company called Lavingo. And with Lavingo, you can do that too. With Lavingo, they send me free test strips and free needles and a free meter. And they track my usage. When they expire, they send me a new box. Right? So that makes it cost effective for me to test my blood sugar multiple times a day. This is a very helpful program. Once I had this and I could monitor my sugar constantly, I was able to lose the weight. But when I wasn't monitoring my sugar, I'd eat too much, too often, and I keep putting too much sugar in my body. But this kit helped me, so I'm testing all the time. So I'm not eating until my sugar is above 100, and I'm not eating until it falls back below 100. You see? So this is my strategy. And then to make it even better, I try to eat a combination of food that I know is not going to spike my sugar really high. So today, look at my plate today. Today I have pumpkin, split pea, I have beets, carrots, and beet leaf. I have bitter melon, okras, and spinach, a piece of chicken, I have a piece of plantain, a piece of fried potato. Now some of these have carbs and sugar in it, but I know of a couple of them that is okay. But I'm adding split peas and pumpkin together, which is not normal, so this might create a little spike. I don't know, but I do experiment like this. And if this spike me up too high, and after an hour and a half, I'm not under 140, I will not eat like this again. I will take away something and try the meal again. So I always eat the meal twice when it's bad. If the meal spike me too high and I can't recover quickly, I will take off something and eat that meal again and test again. So it's a constant experiment. Over time, I'm learning the foods that are good for me, that wouldn't spike me, the combinations, and then I eat those combinations of food. I don't care about calories. I don't worry about calories and how much carbs and how much, I don't worry about it. I just worry about eating low glycemic food and combining them properly to eat them. Because if you eat low glycemic and you ain't combine them properly, you still don't get the spikes and it will take forever to come down. So I test my blood sugar already, but I'm going to test it again before I eat, just to show you. So I tested my blood sugar about an hour ago, and I was at 86. Right? That means because it's almost 3 o'clock, and I had breakfast at 8:30, and I really hadn't had anything to eat since that. And I'm feeling fine because I had a really good breakfast. I try to eat a lot of fiber and food that's going to keep me filled, right, for a long period of time. So now I'm going to test my blood sugar again, just to show how I do it before I eat. So my body is trying to maintain its own sugar for the last 5 hours there. And it usually fluctuates on its own, so it's burning fat in my body and keeping my weight well balanced. So I'm going to put this test strip in here in this stress meter. I have to get a new needle. I get a new needle all the time. For each test, I get a new needle. And I have the needles here. And I put the needle in my thing, take off the head, cover this back, and that's it. This is my thing. So I'm gonna prick my finger, and I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of blood out of there. My hands are clean. I wash my hands before I came to eat all the time. And I see. So I testing again before I eat. So let's see what I'm at. I'm at 84. See? So I've been maintaining a good blood sugar level all the way to eat dinner here, to eat lunch here. So this lunch is very good and full of fiber. There's a lot of fiber here. So I know this is going to fill me well. I may not need to eat again for the rest of the day. I may have an orange or a fruit or a half a fruit or something. But I know I'm going to be full for the rest of the day after I eat this. But after an hour and a half, I'm going to test my blood sugar to see how this food spiked me. And if it was under 140 and it was a perfect combination, I could have this again. I don't need to eat this twice to test it. But if it didn't work, I'm going to take off one of these things, mostly the pumpkin or the split pea, because these are new, mixed together, and I'll eat again and test it one more time to verify this combination. So that's my strategy, right? My strategy is, in summary of my strategy before I eat, I get a Lovingo test kit, so I don't have to pay for the strips, pay for the needles and so on, and the meter. I get a meter free, right? I'm in a bag here, and the needle pricker. I get all that free, so that helps me, right? Then I use my daytime and give myself enough time 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to burn sugar and process sugar itself within the body, just like when I'm sleeping, so I get the same effect as when I'm sleeping. So I'm burning sugar, the body burning its own sugar in the night and during the day. And by spreading it out like that, my body is constantly burning off the fat. So I can never gain weight anymore, right? And I stay lean, right? You can do that when you're overweight or you have too much weight on and you're trying to get rid of it, you can do that. And then you could come back and now then once you have your weight right, then you do that to balance. So it's the blood sugar I'm using constantly to balance that. And the numbers I'm giving you here is scientific, is what they're given on these standards. See, they say you want to be less than 100 for normal. Pre-diabetic fasting glucose is over between 100 and 125, and above 126 or higher. That means when you wake up in the morning, if you're above 126, you're diabetic. You should wake up in the morning under 100. And with this program I set for myself here, I'm always waking up under 100. Always. Right? So that's my strategy. And that's how I use my blood sugar levels to lose weight and then to maintain my weight. This doesn't involve any exercising or anything. It's strictly my blood sugar level and then the right combination of food. And then enough time between the food to let the body process any sugar I put in it without adding new sugar constantly. And this works. So what I'm saying here is you can lose weight effectively by just eating this right and managing your blood sugar. You don't have to do anything else or anything. No, that's not scientific, right? That's just my proof, what I've done for myself that works, right? Now, everybody's different. It may or may not work for you, but I know it worked for me. It'll be up to you to decide if that works for you also, right? I'm not claiming it's going to work, right? So I'm going to eat this beautiful meal. And look how pretty this meal is. And not only that I eat meat that doesn't raise my blood sugar, I try to eat meat that's very nutritious. There's at least 8 different things in this plate. Look at the colors, green, purple, yellow. So I know it's very nutritious. So not only I'm getting good blood sugar level management, I'm also eating very nutritious food. Healthy, natural, nutritious food. See? So I'm benefiting all the way around. But I just wanted to break that down, showing clearly how I use my blood sugar level to maintain my weight. And I hope it makes sense and it's clear. If it's not, let me know. I'll try it again, explain it again. But generally, this kit is the key. Having this kit and all these strips and these needles free that you could test as much as you want without worrying about the expense of it, it's a really good thing Lavingo is doing here through the insurance company. Just go to Lavingo and see if your insurance company will cover it through them. Right? This is really good. This has helped me. Once I get this, I started managing my weight better. Right? And I'm dedicated to it. And I'm not, if my mind tells me I'm hungry and my blood sugar say I'm 120, I know I'm not hungry. There's no way I'll be hungry and my blood is still processing sugar. So I know it's a mental thing, it's habits. So I could do without that. Nothing will happen to me. But now that don't bother me. Now I know when my blood sugar is low, is it not good to eat. But I just test to validate it still. I get used to it. Right? So I'm going to eat now. I hope I did a good job on explaining that. But I'm going to eat now. And my food tastes so good. My food tastes so good. I'm telling you. I'm not even joking. Look at this plate. And this stuff tastes so good. Perfect. So I'm enjoying eating the food and I'm living healthy. Right? So I will have a glass of wine. I don't drink wine every day. I must drink on weekends, but I feel like drinking some wine today. So I'm going to talk a lot, so I deserve some wine, all right? Okay. So anyway, let me go and eat my food now, and about an hour and a half I'll be back, let you know if this was a good combination or not. All right? See you in a minute. Well. It's an hour and a half gone now since I had my beautiful meal, and it's time to test and see how this worked out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it live this time too, as I tested live earlier on today. So I'm going to prick my finger. I'm going to get a little bit of blood from there. I'm going to get my tester and get it up here to test. So, my strip is, I put a strip in here. Make sure the strip is good. Okay, and I'm going to, here we go. That was enough blood. Let's see what it's doing. Let me see. It's 146. 146. So that is pretty good, but not exactly where I would like it to be. I like to be at under 140, but I know by adding the pumpkin and the split pea together, I get a little bit more carb there than I wanted. A little bit more sugar there because they're also sweet. So, but it wasn't bad. 146 wasn't bad, but my goal is 140. So which means I think in about 10, 15 more minutes, I should be at under the 140. And the CDC recommend that after 2 hours, under 140. But the other recommendations are 1.5 hour, which I like to use the 1.5 hour because that gives me more efficiency in my food. All right, so in the food I cook and eat and so on. So I prefer 140, but 146 wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. So that was a good meal, right? So which means in a couple of hours I'll be back to under 100 and I'll be happy. All right, so this didn't work out too bad. It was a good meal. I would take 146 for such a lavish, big meal. I'll take 146, but my goal is 140. So if I had to eat this meal a second time, I'll take the split peas or the pumpkin off, and I'm guaranteed I'll be under 140. So I know I eat the other things together before, so I know how they work. I never put the pumpkin with the split peas together, and both sweet and have carbs. So I suspected one of them was going to do that. So my next rounds of the meal, I just take off, for example, take off the pumpkin. So I can eat that same meal 2 more times, but I'll one time with the pumpkin, then one time with the split peas. And that's how you do the balancing. So you can eat the meal, the whole meal is good, but to control the spike, you change the portion. So if you want to eat both, and you can't eat both together because you can't get under 140, then eat the meal once with the pumpkin, then eat the meal a second time, put the split peas in it, and you get everything you want to eat. So it's not eliminating food, it's getting good glycemic index food and combining them right to keeping the blood sugar as low as possible when you eat them, right? Because you can see with that example there, I can get multiple good glycemic rated food. And glycemic, I have another video where I explain the glycemic index, where I put some pictures of the glycemic index. I didn't explain in detail, but I show some pictures of it. But you can look that up. And those are good food they recommend to eat to keep your blood sugar down. But when you combine them improperly, you still get the big spike, right? So you have to do it properly. You have to test it. And there is nobody can tell you which one to eat when. You have to test it to match your body and see how it reacts, how you react to it, right? So in this case, I know I shouldn't put both of them together, even though it wasn't so bad because my portion wasn't so big. If my portion was bigger, it'd be a bigger spike. But I wouldn't eat them together like that again on the next rounds of that meal because I have enough food to eat more than once. So next rounds, I will leave off one of those and I better be under 140. You see? So that's the experiment I do every day, and that's how I learn, that's how I develop. So to let you know, to close, to reiterate and summarize, I keep my blood sugar under, excuse me, I keep my blood sugar under 100 for a very long period of time during the day, just like I do at night when I sleep. When you sleep, you go to sleep fasting and you sleep for 8 hours, so maybe about 10 or 12 hours you're not eating, your blood sugar should drop under 100 and stay there, and your body should feed itself with its own sugar from your liver to your pancreas, right? And that should, by the time you get up in the morning, you will lose 1 pound, half a pound, 2 pounds, depend on how long you fasted for. So since that works so good in the night, you do the same thing in the day. You eat, and then you eat your breakfast or whatever, if you're eating breakfast, then let the body recuperate for 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on you. And don't snack in between that. Then check your blood sugar. Make sure after 1.5 to 2 hours, make sure it's falling back to under 100. Let it stay under 100 for another 2 or 3 hours. And then if you're hungry, you eat again. If you're not hungry, don't eat again. Okay? Sometimes let your meal be just fruits. If you're feeding for fruits and stuff, just eat that alone. if you're feeling fine. But don't feel like you have to eat in between everything every hour, because you're not giving the sugar a chance to get back to normal level, what we call under 100 level. We talk about if you're diabetic, right? Or pre-diabetic. Give it a chance. And your body's going to work and get rid of the sugar the same way it does it in the night. So you can lose weight day and night. So if you're trying to lose weight, you do that, you lose weight night and day, evening. So when you leave a long span between there, you're going to lose weight. And that's what you want to do, right? And don't snack between. You'll be all right. If you got a snack, make the snack a meal. Use that one meal for the snack, don't add nothing else to it. But then give it time, right? Because your body needs time for the insulin to push the sugar into the cells. And when it's getting there, your body needs time to burn that energy out and get your energy flushed out, so that you can lose weight, you can maintain your weight, or if you're losing weight, lose weight. Right? So again, the whole idea was to show you how I use my blood sugar levels to lose my weight, then to maintain it. And you can do the same thing without having to go through any other stress of work, exercise for your health, not for losing weight. Right? A good example of how you don't lose weight exercising, look at football players, linebackers, 300 and something pounds, and they're very fit, exercising every day, and they still keep the heavy weight on because they need it for the game. So that doesn't lose your weight. But if those same linebackers was to start controlling their blood sugar levels, they would lose their weight. They would become cornerbacks or something. They will lose all their weight. So they can't afford to do that. So it's a good example where just being fit, exercising is not the way to lose weight. That's the way to stay fit and healthy. But to lose weight, you could use your blood sugar levels to do it. All right. Hope this was helpful. Hope I explained. My wife there, she say, sometimes you get so you enjoy what you say, you talk a little too fast. Slow it down a little bit so you can understand what you're saying, So I'm going to try to do that too. But enjoy this one, and I hope you enjoy it too. All right, check out my other videos and see what I'm doing, how I'm eating the food, and it's kind of the same thing being repeated over, but with different foods all the time. So not only are you going to learn what I do, but what food I combine already that work for me. So you could try this combination. And if you think of something I could do, I could come by and try it. Just write and let me know. Let me try cooking that and see how it works for me. All right? So thank you. Subscribe. Enjoy the video. And enjoy my other videos. And come back again and see what I'm putting out. All right? Blessings.